At my parents' wedding anniversary dinner, they announced, "We're going to Hawaii next week with your brother and his family." My fork clattered against the china plate. 25 years of marriage, and I wasn't even invited to celebrate with them. My younger brother, Marcus, smirked from across the table, while his perfect wife dabbed her lips with a napkin. "Sorry, sis," my mother said without looking at me. "It's just that Marcus has been so successful lately, and we want to spend quality time with our grandchildren." I had no children. I had no husband. According to them, I had nothing worth celebrating. That night, I drove home in silence, my hands gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. 15 years I'd spent building my career as an estate attorney while Marcus bounced from one failed business venture to another. 15 years I'd listened to excuses about why family gatherings centered around his needs, his schedule, his life. And now this ultimate rejection, delivered over champagne and strawberry cake, like it was just another casual announcement. But here's what my parents didn't know. 3 months earlier, Marcus had come to me desperate, begging me to witness some documents for his new real estate investment company. He needed my legal signature to finalize a property trust. I'd reviewed everything carefully, as I always did, and discovered something interesting. Very interesting. The primary investment property, the one funding his entire lifestyle, wasn't actually owned by him. It was in a complex trust structure that had a fatal flaw, one I could exploit. I spent the next week doing what I do best: research. I discovered that Marcus had been embezzling from his own investors, using my parents' retirement fund as collateral without their knowledge, and lying about property values to secure additional loans. He'd built his entire empire on fraud, and our parents were guarantors on debts they didn't even know existed. They stood to lose everything: their home, their savings, their peaceful retirement. The Hawaii trip cost $12,000. I knew, because Marcus had bragged about paying for the whole thing during that anniversary dinner, waving his credit card like a trophy. What he didn't know was that I'd already filed a formal complaint with the state's real estate commission, detailing every irregularity I'd found. I'd also contacted his investors with an anonymous tip that started an internal investigation. While they were in Hawaii posting sunset photos of Mai Tai selfies, Marcus's world began to crumble. The real estate commission launched a full audit. Investors froze his accounts. Banks called in their loans. By day 3 of their vacation, Marcus was getting emergency calls he couldn't ignore. He had to tell our parents everything on the beach in Maui, watching his children build sandcastles while confessing he'd gambled away their retirement. They cut the trip short, flew home in disgrace. My phone rang at 2 in the morning. When they landed, my mother's voice was shaking. "Did you know about this?" I let the silence stretch before answering. "Know about what?" "I've been so busy with work. You know how it is when you don't have family to spend time with." Marcus lost his business license. The investors sued. My parents had to sell their dream vacation home to cover the debts Marcus had hidden. But here's the beautiful part. I prepared a contingency. Weeks before, I'd secured an emergency loan for them through one of my firm's partners, with reasonable terms and a long repayment schedule. I became their savior, the daughter who stepped up when Marcus had failed them catastrophically. Now, Sunday dinners are at my house. My mother calls me every day. My father asks my advice on everything. And Marcus? He lives in a rental apartment across town, working as a property manager for someone else, making $12 an hour. He knows I orchestrated his downfall. He can't prove it, but he knows. Last month, my parents asked if I'd join them on a trip to celebrate their retirement recovery. Just the 3 of us. No Marcus. No perfect sister-in-law. No grandchildren. I said yes, and when my mother hugged me, I smiled over her shoulder, thinking about how sweet revenge tastes when served ice cold with a legal document attached.